Hey there, everybody. It is time for Weather Geeks on this Thursday evening. What a change we've had over the last 24 hours. It feels pretty awesome outside, I gotta say, with the drier air and the cooler air pushing in. We only hit 72 today, as advertised, our coolest afternoon high since early in June. It's been a long time since we've had temperatures this cool during the daylight hours. 74 the high in Akron today. Now, Pittsburgh was a little warmer, as was Wheeling. The front sagging slowly from north to south, so areas that didn't quite get the frontal passage today stayed a little bit warm and a little bit humid as well. But especially north of Route 30, it was a distinct change in the air mass that occurred today. It started out a little bit muggy this morning. It was not that warm, but it was muggy, and then those dew points dropped out of the upper 60s down into the upper 50s by the time the late afternoon hours rolled around. And you noticed the change starting around midday. Dew points started to drop in most spots right around lunchtime. As advertised, the rain didn't amount to a whole lot. We had some rain in Boardman and Canfield, but at those two particular rain gauge locations, nothing measurable. A few hundredths downtown and in Austin town, and that was pretty much it. I talked last evening on Weather for Weather Geeks that I wasn't looking for a lot of rain today, even though the chances of some rain were pretty high. The amount of rain was never going to be all that high today, and yeah, the radar bore that out over the last several hours. Nothing more than sprinkles and light showers, and the last of these will fade away quickly early on this evening. All right, the drier air is sinking in from the north. Now, this is a sluggish front. It's taking its time. So, in areas south of Route 30 especially, it's even as of this recording at 7 p.m., it's still a little bit muggy in like East Liverpool down to New Philly, down to Pittsburgh. But even in those places, that's going to change as we head into the night tonight, into the day tomorrow. All right. I've been talking a lot about the summer of 1988 this year when we show this graphic. We had a lot of real high heat back in that summer. It was a drought summer, but the air was very dry. So even though it got hot during the day a lot of the times, we had a lot of record lows that summer, including on today's date back in 1988. It dropped down to a chilly 39 degrees back in on August 22nd, 1988. Now, on a more serious note, I posted this on social earlier, got a lot of engagement on Facebook, a lot of discussion. There's some pretty serious wildfires going on across the Amazon, down in Brazil especially, in South America. Now, wildfires here, not all that unusual. They have a wildfire season a lot like the western United States and western Canada does, but this is not a natural fire situation. This was not caused by drought. Deforestation largely to blame for this. And this is also a much more widespread and intense fire situation than kind of the typical wildfire situation we see down here. This is a big time concern because if this were to last for much longer, we could be looking at a tremendous loss of trees in the Amazon. And the Amazon it produces about 20% of the breathable oxygen on planet Earth, and that forest absorbs a lot of carbon emissions. So if we reduce the amount of trees in there significantly, that's going to allow a lot more carbon to be in the atmosphere. We've already got a big problem with carbon in the atmosphere with climate change, and this could accelerate climate change by a fair amount if the worst case scenario pans out. I'm not a worst case scenario kind of a guy, but this is pretty serious. And the governments down there in South America, and especially in Brazil, really need to step up. And the U.S. may try to help out financially as well, but really the local governments down there really need to do something about the deforestation that's going on down in a very important part of the world. All right, back here at home, as advertised, going to be a great few days coming up tomorrow through the weekend. Just a few fair weather cumulus clouds tomorrow. Actually, a couple of lake effect rain showers may set up tomorrow night and impact maybe Cleveland, back towards Lorain, maybe Sandusky, but don't think it'll be a problem around here. Kind of a northeasterly wind will create that situation. But other than that, yeah, no flies in the ointment through the weekend. Saturday, perfect. Sunday, perfect as well. A little bit more of a southeasterly wind on Sunday will allow temperatures to get back closer to average. It's going to be a great day for the Panerathon, celebrating 10 years of the Panerathon. Downtown Youngstown, kicking off at about 10 a.m. I'll be out there running the 10K with a few other of our WFMJ personnel, and we're on what we call Team Peacock, so look for pictures, no doubt, on social media from all of us doing the Panerathon on Sunday, and the weather could not be much better. The sun will be out, the humidity will be low, and don't really have any new thoughts on the longer range in case you haven't been watching my videos real closely this week. Been talking about how as we go into the Labor Day weekend, Canfield Fair weekend, it doesn't look that hot. Will it be one of the coolest Labor Day weekends on record? No, absolutely not. But it will not be nearly as hot as was last year. We had a couple of 90-degree days Labor Day weekend last year. This year, with this cooler pool of air sitting over a lot of the Midwest into the Ohio Valley, you know, some of our warmest days, probably around 80. Some of the cooler days for daytime highs, late next week into the long holiday weekend, some of the cooler days maybe in the mid-70s. So it looks pretty darn nice, I got to tell you. There's not much of a signal here as far as precipitation goes. Pretty typical stuff for late August, early September. Occasionally we're going to have a shower, maybe a thunderstorm, but does not look like a particularly wet or dry pattern this year for the fair and for any Labor Day weekend activities you may have planned. All right, that'll do it for this evening's Weather for Weather Geeks video. Thanks as always for watching these longer videos. I know a lot of people enjoy the increase in detail that you get on a video like this, and I've been doing these for 6.5 years now, and always really thrilled with the engagement that these videos get. So thanks for checking them out, and check out my updated forecast tonight. If you're up late, 21 News at 11 p.m.